ain't hear it, Glay.
Glaybo.
Yeah, I ain't hear the smooth transition.
Smooth transition, but I'm pissed off because for some reason it won't let me log into my it won't let me log into my the OG network. I don't know what happened over here.
Oh, got you, got you.
So I couldn't repost the show. That's a bummer, bro. Like I posted it on my personal.
Got you. Okay.
Oh, you know what we're gonna do? Hold that. And I have so many different Instagrams associated with that number. You know how that happens?
Oh yeah, like because it don't really make sure you know that to keep it organized. You just be so excited to get in, and then you really don't remember how you got in.
Yeah. Yo, my phone is tripping right now.
Oh,
My phone is tripping right now. I don't know. It is what it is. We adapt. We adapt and move on. Grand rising to everybody. Man, appreciate y'all tapping in as y'all are joining. Please make sure that y'all like, and subscribe. Well, just like for now. Just like for now. You worry about the subscribing later, but make sure that you like for now. We're going to have a great show. We got a lot to discuss. We jumped on Saturday, did an emergency show based on the striking or the kidnapping of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Yeah, a lot of thoughts on that. We'll get into a few different videos. Glay has a interesting perspective that he wants to tap into as well.
Yeah.
So we'll elaborate on that. But I guess, man, how was the weekend? What'd you do this weekend?
Man, what did I do? I think we had that emergent. And my mic's good.
Yeah, you good. Wait, let me get a couple taps. Good.
Okay. But yeah, went well. Just really locked in, man. Just kind of making sure everything is aligned, kicking off the first quarter. So me and you had a couple talks on a couple different topics, and was even able to start the next the next development of my cooking journey. I dove into the desserts, and then I was able to make banana Fosters with like little Nilla wafers, and then over some ice cream. So I think you should be able to. Yeah, that fits into your menu. So I definitely got to.
Man, I'm going back, bro. Don't even worry about me. I'm going back. I'm going back to meat, bro.
Yeah. Oh, now I seen you. It looked like you had an oxtail on your plate yesterday.
Nah, it looked like I had some jackfruit. That's what it
looked like.
Oh,
okay. I'm just
making that's what it looked like. It looked like I had some jerk jackfruit. That's what it looked like.
I seen y'all cats look like y'all you're making oxtail. So I didn't know what was going on. If Sundays you took a break, but all right. Looks like I was tripping.
Nah, the 18th. The 18th, that's what we're shooting for.
Okay.
The 18th, man. Glad you could hit some of these intros while I
Yeah, let's get into it, man. Good morning, everyone. Big Finn in the building. Let's see what you got for us, Finn. The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. Marcus Aurelius. Man. Y'all continue to show me how this man was definitely different. Steve, good morning, Steve. We've already noticed that you've got it on and popping. The version of you that wins is waiting on the other side of discipline. This is so true. We can't, you definitely can't achieve anything great in life without having discipline to achieve it. So thank you for kicking us off with that. Obviously, the OG Network, Grand Rising, everyone. Good morning, Steve. Kansas_D, welcome. Looks like you coming from Twitch. Your stream was a pleasure to watch. Keep pushing forward whenever you're streaming. I would love to join your live stream whenever you're streaming. Mind adding me on the Discord. So yes, Kansas D, we're definitely going to get you the Discord. Our big brother Finn's probably going to throw it in the chat any second here like he does so well
for it too, just in case. I just
as well as that. Yeah. So please tap in. Discord is continuing to grow. We do have a lot of these in-depth conversations, and we kind of all bring our perspective, and we kind of keep evolving these questions and kind of further and further find our way to searching for the truth. So definitely appreciate you joining and subscribing as well too. Let's see who we got here. What kind of noodles you cooking? Yeah, who was in the? Somebody told me they was in there. Somebody was cooking, right? Was it you, Finn? You in there cooking noodles? Who else is here? I see Maya in the building. Good morning, Maya.
She up?
Yeah, I think I saw I'm pretty sure I did. I'm going off of memory when I saw that. Unk in the building. Good morning, Unk. Always there to let us know you tapped in. Says tag yourself on the page, nephew. Yep, Maya's in here. Maya's definitely here. Anthony, oxtail costs so much in this country now. Yo, Anthony, you not lying, bro.
Yeah, for real.
I don't even touch oxtail no more. I just can't. It just, for what I'm getting, I can't justify.
Bro, they I remember at the spot that I go to, they got a lot of vegan stuff, but I always look at the oxtail because that's what I'm like, my eyes were on when I walk in there. They moved the price up like $15 during the pandemic. Like it was something crazy. It's like not like a $2, $3, or even $4. No, it was like they moved the price up $15, bro.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened, bro. I mean, it looks like it has gotten a little bit more trendy because I'm seeing oxtail in a lot more recipes than Jamaican style. So even barbecue, I'm starting to see people really tap into smoked oxtail, and I'm hearing a lot of different people because I was only familiar with oxtail between the Jamaican cultured food as well as Haitian, but now it kind of looks like it's kind of making its way through other people's menu as well. So Costco got it high. It just seems high all around.
They got oxtails at Costco?
Man, they got the oxtail at Costco. But it's cracking. You're gonna spend. You're definitely gonna spend. So as you see, guys, the OG Network did put the Discord in there, so we're gonna go ahead and pin there here at the top. I cook curry goat. Oh yeah, I'll give it all of it works for me. Curry goat, rice and peas, plantains. I don't care where you go. The Jamaican food is just unmatched to me. They can't lose wherever they go. Big Dutch in the building. Good morning, Dutch 9238. Good morning. Dr. King, good morning. Luda on. Good morning, all listening today because I'm back on the grind, getting ready for the spring semester to start. That's it, man. I don't think there are any more holidays, Dr. King. I think you're officially in your stride now. You know, you're gonna look up. It'll be spring break's probably the first break.
Graduation.
Graduation. Yeah, so that's it, man. So you gotta lock in, right? So what else we got? I think that's everybody. Everybody tapped in. If you're new to the channel, please drop a comment. We'd love to recognize you. And we'd also love to know where you're from as well. We've got a great community here that will continue to definitely give you a warm welcome, and that's what we love to do here today. So, Dak, it was definitely a very festive weekend. Like you said, I noticed the capture, or like you call it, the what did you call it? The kidnapping of the Venezuelan murder. So.
Yeah, because it's funny when you text me, I just happen to be doing some of the other recordings. And I think, what did you see me online?
I actually didn't see you online. I just because I was in the bed just chilling.
Oh shoot.
That's funny, and when I seen it, I was like, okay, this definitely is like part 2 to a lot of things we've been talking about. And then I hit you, and you was like, man, I've been locked in. I didn't even know cats was wilding out.
I didn't even know what happened.
So then I was like, yo, this might be a good time. We're going to get wavy on the algorithm. People going to tap in.
And it was a dope conversation. And it was early on, obviously. So even now, like, I think what I'm noticing is that people are all over with the conversations. Like, as far as, like, I was completely thrown off with this video that we're getting ready to see that shows people in Miami in a section called Doral, where a lot of Venezuelans live. And they were celebrating. Like, it was still dark out. So they were celebrating early morning. They were celebrating. And it's funny, we go to this, for the first time, we always walk by this bakery, Caracas. And it's a Venezuelan restaurant. We didn't even know. And everybody's talking about it, but I was so surprised that a lot of Venezuelans were celebrating. And then when it's like you hear about it, it's like there's people on both sides of it. Like I had a buddy of mine where he dated some Venezuelan girls in the past, and he was saying how their families complained about the government all the time. So you're getting completely different perspectives. Where I've seen a lot of Venezuelans, it seems like, who live in America, they seem to be celebrating it.
Yeah, I have a girl who I saw post
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, and it's a few things around that. Like some people are celebrating it, and other people are saying like, yeah, you may be happy because you're Venezuelan, but we don't want to get involved in other conflicts. And you don't even understand that you think America's doing you a favor, but in all actuality, this has absolutely nothing to do with your democracy, has nothing to do with your rights. This is solely about oil. This is solely about resources. And it reminds me of like how you can like it's almost like these people are getting extorted and they don't even realize because they just hate their government so much. And it reminds me of like the whole Trump derangement syndrome. Like this is across the board in various countries where you can hate a politician so much, anything that they align with, you almost disagree with, and anybody that opposes them, that does anything to them, it's like you get on board with it. So there's a lot of different arguments or conversations that are happening around this. I don't like it because I don't want us getting involved in anybody else's conflict. I don't like it because like this is the epitome of colonialism. Like this is a colonialism. This is y'all are doing stuff with people we don't like. So therefore, and we don't like the current relationship that we have with y'all. So therefore, we're going to kidnap your president. We're going to take over your country. We're now going to run it. And yeah, we're going to run it like the business that we want it to be because we feel like y'all haven't been doing for us as much as you're obligated to do, right? It's almost like Venezuela has some type of responsibility to do whatever United States of America wants it to do. And that's how Trump is running it. That's how Trump is running it. And to the people that are surprised, what exactly are you surprised about? Like how many times have we had on the thumbnail of our show, colonialism, manifest destiny, doctrine of discovery? How many times have we talked about this? It's giving real Israel chosen people energy. And then I find out later on that there's some type of connection where Maduro was speaking out against Israel and what they were doing to Palestinians. And there's that connection there. And even Mike Huckabee, who's our ambassador to Israel, U.S. ambassador to Israel, he said some wild stuff like over this issue where it's like they're not even trying to hide it. Like they're actually saying, they did a news story, hopefully I can find it, where they interviewed Huckabee and he's saying like what this has to do with Israel. So it's like they're not even trying to hide the fact like this does not have anything to do with Israel. They're saying it has something to do with Israel. And like all of this stuff, it's people are playing right in our face, man. People playing right in our face, and it's going to be interesting to see how we respond to this. We are everything that we complain about Israel being, we are that. Everything that we complain about, all this bullying, all this stuff, we are that, bro. We are colonizers. It is what it is. That's what America was built on, and that's what it continues to, I guess, strive on. Now, we can say that there's going to be certain changes that happen along the way, but when it comes to what our government is doing right now, we are colonizers, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think America's hiding from that one. I think they're content and okay with that. I know you typically cut your Chris Brown, Ty Dolla Signs off.
Oh shoot, I didn't even realize that thing was still on, bro. Come on.
Yeah, I just noticed it on too. But yeah, I don't see America really fighting. And what's unfortunate, a lot of these other countries, like you said, are from their angle, might see it as a benefit because they don't really dive into, how much more deeper this is than what they may see. And you know what? Who's to say that we will even be able to change their opinion? Not as if that's our goal, but maybe it's a small win in the battle for them. But obviously, it doesn't set them up per se, or America up getting involved because you know, this is what we tend to do. It's giving Haiti, if you ask me. That's
Bro,
the energy I'm getting.
I mean,
Like y'all got some resources. We gonna make sure we get involved in the politics in this country and start putting our thumb on what you can and cannot do as far as how you obtain, you know, who you deal with, who you ship with, and you know, if any issues, then you know we collab with the ops over there who really running shit. And then if you want to be protected, then you do what we need to say. I mean, this is what we did Dominican Republic. This is what we did to Haiti. I mean, there's a lot of Central American um, countries that have experienced this American quote unquote wrath. You know, so it's just like we're just you know, they in our backyard, fuck it. You know, how can we play this game? And then I didn't know how, I guess for me, I didn't know the amount of oil that this place
it's the largest in the world, I believe.
yeah, whew, I didn't know that. I went down the lineage of how Venezuela really putting oil in damn near everybody's backyard. So I was like, oh shit. So it's interesting because I guess I wasn't as familiar with Venezuela and their impact to us naively, I'd say for sure. But before a lot of these situations with the corruption of the government and all that stuff, were you kind of hip to Venezuela and kind of their impact on the world before?
Before this, absolutely not.
Hmm.
Like before, and this is the thing when it comes to America, like we grow up so ignorant and so swayed, like so manipulated when it comes to our education system that we don't even pay attention to a lot of this stuff. Like
Hmm.
imagine if they can't teach us the truth. They cannot teach us the truth in our schools because we would ask too many questions and rebel at such a young age where we would see exactly what's going on, bro. It would breed terrorism, to be totally real.
Hmm.
If they taught us the truth, like about what was going on, because kids can understand this. Adults, we're the ones that look beyond it and are complicit in all the BS because of all the other things. Well, you can't impact the government. Well, we got to do what's best for our country. Well, because the older we get, the more selfish we get as individuals, the more we are willing to compromise our principles and morals to benefit our personal interest, right? So therefore, as kids don't go for that. You can't just teach a kid, hey, this is theirs, but it's okay, we're taking it. Well, why are we taking it? Well, no. Well, why is it theirs or is it ours? You know what I mean? Like kids are going to see it in a very simple way. They're going to see it in a very simple way. Like, bro, we're just. It's sad to be a part of because you're on a team and the team is obviously conducting themselves in ways that you're not okay with. And this stuff is going to come. The chickens are going to come home to roost, bro. The chickens are going to come home to roost. When do they not? So it doesn't. And I don't know how that's going to look. Like I remember 9/11 and I don't know if any of us during 9/11, matter of fact, I know that we weren't. I remember George Bush's approval rating like hit record numbers after 9/11.
Hmm.
We don't blame our politicians. We don't even have enough information to understand like the context of everything to where we would even get upset at our politicians. We just blamed the evil Muslims. That's all we did. We just blamed the evil Arabs. And anything that happened after that, we were okay with.
Hmm.
We are we have two things in America that make us extremely dangerous, and it's ignorance and arrogance, bro. Like those two things. We are ignorant, we're arrogant, audacious, you could throw that in there, but all of these different things, we are ignorant and arrogant, bro. And when people that you're leading are ignorant and arrogant, I think it puts you in a position to where you now have the green light to do all of this that America has done and continues to do. So it's yeah, you want to look at a couple of these different videos because we could check out a few different angles. A lot of people were surprised when I was I guess I was surprised when I played this first video and was watching people celebrate. Maybe we'll look at a contrast. We'll look at the people celebrating.
Yeah, that'd be
look
cool.
at some other Venezuelans who are complaining about what's going on as far as
Yeah.
their president being kidnapped. And hold up. I'm not even sure. Speaking of Haiti and speaking of France, I'm not sure if this story actually came out, but there was allegedly an attempt at where is it? Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré. Hold up. There was you know what I'm talking about?
No, I can't say I do.
Oh man, hold on. It's the leader. You don't Burkina Faso. My fault. I'm saying it all wrong. Burkina Faso. Apparently, there was another coup attempt like right after this one. So they tried to do the same thing to Burkina Faso allegedly. Yeah, I saw this and I never really like dove into the story like because there weren't a lot of stories out on it. But apparently, yeah, there was a coup. What is the proper term? Coup, co-op. I'm not sure the proper term, but apparently they tried to get Ibrahim Traoré.
That's West Africa.
Yeah, I don't know about West Africa. It's Burkina Faso. I don't know if that's considered West Africa.
Yeah, I just plugged it in.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Are you familiar with that guy, the leader?
No,
bruh. He's exactly what he appears to be.
Oh,
no nonsense with the shit.
Well, I don't care about none video about him.
Colonizing energy that y'all got going on. It ain't happening here. That's the energy he's on.
Oh, this is the guy that you showed in the video a couple weeks ago. Remember?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So Maya said France attempted to assassinate him the same night as Maduro. They've been trying to get him out of there for years.
And what's the reason?
Same reason. That's what people are saying. The whole Nigeria situation is over. Us penetrating Nigeria and then ultimately finding our way to wiggle in and be able to control the resources, not only in Nigeria, but where Burkina Faso is as well. Okay. So this is just a whole, I don't know whether it seems like, I guess it's natural to feel this way as the potential for war escalates. What do people tend to do? Oh, I got to get my resources up. I got to make sure, hey, we got our team, we got the people we're aligned with, our allies, we get all this stuff together, and we got to make sure that we got our weapons, right? So a lot of this, whether it comes to weapons, whether it comes to AI and needing more of this uranium or oil, I'm not sure. All these natural resources, those are required for the weapons that we need to, or the weapons that we're manufacturing, especially the nuclear weapons, as well as the energy. You know, energy, you control a lot, bro. You control energy, you control the world. You know what I'm saying? So this is above, us just going into it. Like, this is strategic. This is strategic on a global level where there's two sides here. I don't know if it's Russia, China, and whoever's on that side. Sides are being chosen right now, and everybody's doing whatever it is that they can and justifying and rationalizing it because they see it as war. Like, this is war prep. So nothing's off the table. Nothing's off the table. Let me
wow. Yeah,
we kind of already talked about the Venezuelans celebrating. Do you want to see a video on that or just see the ones? I haven't seen the one where they're talking about protesting it.
Yeah, let's see both.
All right, so let me play this one first. Get this shared on the screen for y'all. It's 7 minutes, so we definitely aren't going to watch the entire thing, but we'll watch a clip. I think it's a gentleman on here that's getting interviewed.
Gabrielle Arzola. She is joining us live from Doral. She is outside in Arepaso, which we know is the mecca of the Venezuelan community there. And Gabby,
the thing's pretty busy behind you, Gabby. It's 6 a.m. and people have been out there. Can you tell us about what you're seeing and how long you've been seeing people out there reacting to this news?
Guys, history is being made in real time. There are hundreds of people here in El Arepaso, which, like you said, has been the mecca for Venezuelans speaking out against injustices in their country for decades. I'm here joined by Edgar. Edgar has been here since he was 11 years old, born and raised in Venezuela, out here since early this morning. Tell me, why did you want to be out here?
Well, okay, before I begin, I just want to talk to you, America, and I hope you have your coffee when I tell you this, but these are great news. All eyes on Venezuela. These are historical news. This is history in the making. I mean, my chest, it feels like it's gonna explode with joy because before I was even born, there have been struggles. My family has been fighting for so many years before I was even here. They have told me about it. They told me about a time where democracy existed, and now I can finally look forward to that. And that's just everything that I can ask for. And I just want to tell you people, America, Venezuelans are good people. The greatest people that I know, I can vouch for them. We are good. We are working hard, and this is President Donald Trump and Maria Corina Machado just created an opportunity for us to begin working harder than ever, because that's what we have always been doing, but now we will be working in our country. But we also have worked so hard here in the United States to build so much things, and I just want to thank you, America. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to work.
Don't thank me for shit. I didn't want any involvement with this.
Make America great again.
Like, this is it's so you know what it reminds me of? It's like if you asked, and this is what gets me about all of this stuff, depending on who you ask, like living in America, if you ask somebody 20 to 30 years old about, what's like, do you love America? Like, are you proud to be American? You would get a lot of different answers. And a lot of those answers would sound as if people are living in an oppressed country to where they don't have rights. Think about what the ads that they were running on Trump when he was running. What Taraji P. Henson was screaming, oh my God, they're gonna lock us in chains and they're gonna bring us, like they were really pushing this. So all of these people now, like seeing a lot of these situations, it just makes me look at them differently, where it's like, you think, like, are you that naive to where you think that this is about bringing democracy to your country? Like, no, this is about Donald Trump and America taking over and extorting your country. It's almost like somebody getting extorted and they feel like because now they're getting protection or whatever else that comes with the extortion. Like, I go to your business. We've already gone over all this, but they're getting extorted. And I guess some people feel good about it.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the perspective that I'm seeing as well from, it looks like the Venezuelans. It's like, whatever comes after this sounds like to them it's going to be better than what it's currently been. And so, when you don't dive into American politics as much as you dive into Venezuelan politics, and like you said, if it seems as if we're the superheroes, then I see all the flags, make America again, like they just feel like this is game time. So it's going to be very hard to even get them to realize this is a bigger chess move than it is checkers.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like, I'm sure there's a lot of this going around where if you voted for Trump, like, let's say if you're more conservative, then you may like this. But it's kind of funny, actually, because apparently Maduro was a very conservative president based on the things that I've heard. Like, there was no, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that there was no gay marriage, no abortion, like very conservative principles that they had there. But then it seems like you're like dangling the liberalism or progressivism or democracy, whatever it is, over them, but not even realize it. It's just kind of, I'm just very confused about everything. I'm very confused, but the reason why the thing that I'm not confused about is the fact that this is how they take advantage. This is how anybody takes advantage. You cause confusion, you cause chaos, like you cause all the fear monger, all these different things. And then you come in and you can now act as if you're the hero in the situation. So let's take a look at this other side, this other perspective. But go ahead.
I was going to say, I haven't seen this side of the perspective at all.
I haven't seen this video either. So this will be our first time reacting to it together. All right, let's get to it.
No les interesa ni la libertad ni la democracia. Les interesa nuestro petróleo, les interesa nuestros recursos naturales.
Un acto criminal en la manera en que ha actuado los Estados Unidos y haber penetrado pues el territorio venezolano.
The U.S. airstrikes that led to the capture of President Maduro destroyed a residential building in the coastal state of Katia. According to local reports, the strike left one person dead and another injured.
Fue fuerte, pues caían
en
las montañas que bordean el Fuerte Tiuna. Y bueno, fue horrible, fue horrible.
I saw the helicopters, I saw the explosion, the fire going to the sky. Disorder, the people run, the people take their cars and go to everywhere. And the people feel scared. We haven't electricity, power, telephone signal, internet. We are in a blackout.
Yo, and Trump mentioned something like that. He was talking about, oh, it was real dark. It was dark. We did something with the lights or something like that. Yo, it's it's America, bro. This is America. This is America. How you feeling, Clay? What's on your mind, bro? I feel like it's weighing on you.
But it's what's so crazy. It's like these are the people that are actually there, and they're not celebrating. But then all the American Venezuelans or the Venezuelans that are currently residing in America are jumping around.
Yeah,
and I don't know if it's because we've only seen one video, but I find it so interesting that there's not an excitement in Venezuela by, you know, it doesn't look like, I guess after you catch a couple bombs and it's like, what you jumping around for? They're shaking their thing. So it's just like, seems a little, you know, for the Venezuelans that reside here, it's like, y'all seem to be a little bit unattached from how the process in which to make and even get this to happen, how the country, the people that are actually there are not jumping for joy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's just like, but you know, like you notice, like I've seen that, especially in the Spanish culture, because even here I hang around a lot of people in the Latin community, but like it gets to a point where it's almost like there's very like hierarchy in that space, you know? So it's just like, it's like sometimes you'll get people from the culture who like come to America, and we see it in Miami too. It's just like they really be on their like, I'm better than type of energy. And it's like they completely forget their roots are embedded in a place that this was never your perspective. This was never your energy. This was never who you guys have been, but you guys get to America, and then America makes you feel as if this is the way to move forward in order to, I guess, show that, you know, demand respect, or show that, you know, you're superior, or whatever it is. Like, so it's just, you see the energy switch up between the people that are there and the people that are here. And, you know, these people dance in the streets, but then I don't see nobody dancing in them streets. And it's just like, damn, can we even depend on the Venezuelan people in America to truly have a snapshot, or are they truly locked in with what's going down, or are they consuming the propaganda and the fear mongering and all the things as well? And what we see here is somebody, like you said, being used with what we choose to promote, and they're really not even tapped in what's really going down on the main floor.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you on that.
Yeah, it seems so interesting, so different perspective. So it's like, I like you said, I think it's gonna be mixed and it's gonna be torn. Like, man, I've ran into people on TikTok who come, you know, have a you know, Central America, you know, connection, whatever country that may be, and I mean, some of them are some of the most diehard Trump fans, like to the core, and I'm like, it's not that I have a problem with that, but it's just like, 1 second it's like immigrants get the fuck out, the next second it's like, oh yeah, but we're gonna go handle this energy in Venezuela. it's just like the way y'all just get pushed and pulled and ragdolled around. It's like, damn, bro, like y'all got to stop consuming this propaganda, because I don't even know if y'all even trying to understand the depths of how the stuff this goes. Like, are they going to dive and see that this is just a repeat of history, or because it benefits you, this is why the dancing starts at 6 a.m.?
Yeah, it seems like a deal with the devil, bro. It seems like these people have accepted and are cool, you know, a deal with the devil. And think about it from this standpoint. So this is what Venezuela has banned. I believe this is what Tucker was saying. They banned pornography, they banned abortion, they banned gay marriage, they banned sex changes, and they banned usury. The usury one, I'm not. What is usury? Hold on. What is usury? The practice of lending money. Oh, the practice of lending money at an excessively high or illegal interest rate. Oh, they banned that. Interesting. That's going to be interesting based on some of these videos that we look into. Yeah, but so imagine living in a country. Imagine if America had all those rules. People would be saying like, oh, we're oppressed, like we're enslaved, we're all this other stuff. While other people would be saying like, that's a righteous thing. Like we shouldn't have abortion. We should, you know what I mean? Like, so there's always going to be different sides depending on perhaps your upbringing, you know, how you see things, what's beneficial for you. So all this stuff, it's not political, bro. This is spiritual, this stuff that happens, bro. Like the issue of this is not political. This is spiritual. We understand what's happening politically. Politically, all it is a power game. There are no rules when it comes to power game. There are no, in any world that you're living in where war is okay, do we really think that there are actual rules that follow when war is justified? When you can legally kill people and go to war, is anything else, like, do we really think that these other rules that we are put in play really matter? A lot of people are saying it's against the law that Trump kidnapped you know, America kidnapped Maduro. Of course, yeah, it's against the law. They do stuff against the law all the time. Yeah, this is America. This is what colonizers do. Not to downplay it, and it's done on both sides. You know what I mean? But it's across the board when it comes to America. Let me play this other video that I think this is the one of Huckabee. So this is our. And is this the one of Mike Huckabee? I think I have one. Hold on one second. Yeah, this is it. Take a listen to this. Take a listen to this.
Ambassador, your reaction when you... Let's bring in U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, and it's going to make sense why we're bringing him on in just a moment, because what happens in Venezuela, what happens in Israel, everything's connected, Iran. First off, let me ask you this, Ambassador, your reaction when you saw what happened with the military and law enforcement operation in Venezuela.
Well, my first reaction, Rob, was to say, praise the Lord and thank you, President Trump. A lot of people may not make the connection as to why this matters to us in the Middle East. What they don't know is that Hezbollah is very active in Venezuela. There has been a 20-year partnership between Iran and Venezuela under both the two previous dictators. The ties are deep, and Hezbollah operates in 12 different countries throughout South America. It is not just a threat in the Western Hemisphere. It is a threat to the Middle East. So for the president to go after Venezuela not only deals with narco-terrorism and the many deaths of Americans who are killed by the poison of drugs, it is going to make life for those of us living in the Middle East much better, much safer to take Maduro out, to recognize that Hezbollah is active here, targeting not just Jewish people in all over South America, but using those tentacles to ultimately reach into the United States. This is good news for America, good news for the world.
Jewish people are being targeted in South America, and that justifies, like, yo, But Glay, hold on before you comment. Take a look at this and maybe it'll all make sense.
De las 12 tribus, que no son los que mandan hoy en el Estado de Israel. Los que hoy gobiernan, Netanyahu no es judío auténtico. Él es un cambalache que viene por allá de de Polonia, para los que les gusta hablar de religiones y dicen que esto es un conflicto religioso. No, esto no es un conflicto religioso. El conflicto que hay desde la fundación del Estado de Israel es un conflicto geopolítico, porque ese Estado lo crearon para conquistar todo el Medio Oriente y Asia Central y quitarle las riquezas y colonizar esos pueblos. Es el proyecto sionista, que dicen que van desde el río Jordán hasta el Éufrates y más allá.
Damn, he really on his shit.
And when you watch that video, it all makes sense.
He knew his shit, bro. Damn.
It's wild. Like Finn said, it always comes back to Israel, bro. Like this makes us believe in all the quote unquote conspiracy theories. Israel controls this.
Wow.
Yo, it's wild, bro.
It runs deep, my boy. It runs deep.
Like
all roads in America lead to Israel, South Dakota said. Slim. Damn. Well, okay. Well, now it doesn't surprise us that, you know, kidnapping, killing, and things of that nature is at the forefront of how they're making the decisions, quote unquote, America, because, you know, we just getting dish ragged around, puppeteered, and then leads us right back to here again. So, damn, them boys got it down pat, bro.
It's
start calling them boys.
Them boys, man. It's like it's right in front of our face. That's the toughest thing. And so this I haven't seen. Is this the one? So check out this one. Hold on. This is a video by the interim president. I believe she was the vice president. Is this the lady that was the vice president? I'm not sure. Hold on.
Okay, I did hear Trump mention that somebody
from China, Russia, Latin America.
Yeah, somebody that was going to be helping to coordinate stuff as America ran stuff. Marco Rubio, like, oh.
From China, Russia, Latin America, the Caribbean, Africa, Asia, the governments of the world are simply shocked at the victims and targets of an attack of this nature, which undoubtedly has a Zionist slant. It's really shameful. From China.
So that's not it. That was somebody else. Or I don't know if that is the person. Maybe that still is the person. But yeah, this is when I first saw about the Burkina Faso against Captain Ibrahim Traore. So this is white people. Y'all gotta address this, man. Y'all gotta stop this madness, bro. Y'all gotta talk to y'all people, man, because they ain't gonna listen to us, man.
And then I saw there were a lot of people that chimed in that were, I guess, a part of multiple different countries, because I was interested to see like whether or not this was, you know, because the big question been floating around whether or not this is legal or whether or not this is illegal. And there were a lot of things on Twitter.
It's kind of looking at tankers off the coast of
Venezuela. Agree that this was legal and that they're not, you know, they're not for this, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just like, but I did see somebody in the comments say earlier, it's just like, but who's going to hold anybody accountable to what they can and cannot do? Like, what y'all going to go get Trump and put him in jail? Like, who the hell, who's security?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, at this point, if you big and bad, you do what the hell you want. If you bad by Israel, you can move however you want. There ain't no, I can't do this or this isn't right. It's like, cool, y'all can run y'all, flap y'all gums all day. I don't have to listen to none of y'all talking about we run shit. So it's just like, it is like what are they going, who going to check this?
Bro, we made a big deal about, like, we act like we don't understand how Russia was feeling when Ukraine was getting ready, or it seemed like about to join NATO, join their enemies, which the US obviously would be in that, but it's all of this stuff, they're just power plays, bro. It's like, you think you can run another country. You think because that other country has a relationship with somebody that you don't get along with, that gives you the right to go in there and control their country. Like if you really go back and unpack that speech that Trump was giving, and it's actually hard to get through, like he was rambling, and everything that he was rambling about was just, it's not even acting as if it's something else at this point. He's saying this is business. It's going to be good for business. We're going to get rich. The Venezuelans will get rich. He's lying. But he's telling them all this stuff. But it's just about America getting rich and controlling other countries' resources. That's all this is about. Yeah. So if you're okay with this, then that's what you're okay with. Yeah. There's no like gray area when it comes to what's going on here from my position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like that's exactly what it is. Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at this. So let's go back into this. This is interesting. I don't know if this caption is going to be a real one, but you guys can see what I'm over here looking at on the screen. And then we'll get into your combo, Clay, after this.
Oh, okay.
You know, I wanted to ask you, since we met last, about the issue of Venezuela. Because I heard voices kind of saying it's not so bad, and Latin America is not so bad, but I'm not convinced. And the question
you
is,
have good reason not to be convinced. You have good reason. It is getting worse.
Right.
And little by little, as long as oil money works.
I'm told that by our experts, it's the only, except for Iran, it's the only government-propagated anti-Semitism today around the world. It's already
formally, right?
This is
first
quite scary.
Within the country and then outside.
So, are you pressing in any way?
We've talked to Jesse Jackson, who has a relationship, but it's not for camera. But there are other plans.
Black guy?
We'll talk about it in a minute.
Glade, Jesse Jackson, the black guy?
Yeah. So this was from a while ago. This was from 2009. So apparently, I guess Jesse Jackson has some relationship with Venezuela, bro. All this stuff, bro, this is a web. It's a web of lies, bro.
But what were you going to say?
It's about this clip. I don't know.
No, the Jesse Jackson.
Oh, yeah, with Jesse Jackson. I have no idea what his involved.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like I have no idea what is involved. Like that was my first time seeing that clip.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that clip. I just saw the title of it. Like I save a bunch of these and I like reacting to them for the first time with you, a lot of them. But it's damn.
It's a great angle, Unc. So if Kim Jong-un for the little round guy did that to the South Korea, would that be okay? Just a question.
But and you know what's wild? Unc, nobody cares. Like this is the world. I want to be very clear, the world that we're living in. We are living in a world where it doesn't matter. Like that golden rule of treating others the way that we want to be treated, it doesn't matter. This is a colonizer's mindset that America has. Mm-hmm. So if it's there and I can take it and I can use it, I'm going to take it and use it. If it makes more sense for me to leave it and let them run it, then I'll let them run it as long as I can control it. Mm-hmm. And they're doing everything I want. This has absolutely nothing to do with principles and morals, bro. Like we can't look at this from our eyes because it just won't make sense. And a lot of times I think perhaps maybe this is the biggest critique when it comes to a lot of the baby boomers and a lot of us when it comes to politics. We look at politics through a lens as if it's morally sound people like us making the decisions. Like we like to put our own principles and morals on these politicians as if they live by the same moral compass, and they don't. They don't. And until we understand that, none of this stuff will make sense. We'll always look at it like, oh, well, you know, it's rationalizing certain stuff, being complicit and stuff. Look, this is just the devil working. This is just the devil working, whatever you want to call it. Maybe this is demonic behavior, bro. It just is what it is. And it's being justified with America's going to make some money on oil. Venezuela is not doing well on their own. So, it's amazing to me how people will rationalize America kidnapping the president of Venezuela because Venezuela is a country in chaos. Like as if America has that right. Like if America is not in chaos itself, And as if America is the trusted place that would make sense going in there and actually fixing anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, more and more just makes more and more sense as long as you keep the mindset on like we're asking a country that denies its past so that you can be okay with its future. We don't America who likes to hide the certain things or certain ways or make things seem as if we're also asking that country to be morally and ethically genuine or have morals about the way that they move and go about things. So it's like, yeah, like how dare we ask America to use moral and ethics? What were we thinking? They never have and they never will, and that's just not the way politics have been done. And because politics or politicians are the spokespeople and the spokesperson for moral and ethics when it comes to countries, at the end of the day, like they ultimately make a decision that impacts the people regardless of how the people's opinion is or how they think. And that's where we're seeing to be torn. It's very hard to do what's righteous, spread love, focus on peace when politicians are focused on money, capitalism, like things of that nature. So they will always mask it in make America great again. They will always mask it in America first. They will put everything and wrap this shit up in whatever bow to make you think this is the most prideful way to do it. And like you said, like last week, like we're not one of the people that like is hating where we're from. Like we ain't one of those guys. Like we want the best for America and the people that live here. We want this to be a safe place for immigrants as well as the people that were born here. And we want safety in all cities. We want equality. We want the best for the country, but it's just like when you're doing sucker shit and then you're just telling us to be like, oh, but it's America first. It's like, bro, like what the I ride with America, but y'all keep doing sucker shit. Got me looking like I'm the problem calling out America for doing like, bro, my teammate is getting drunk on the weekends. I don't care if he's Johnny Manziel in this thing. I get it. He's good. I love him. He is my quarterback, but that don't mean that I'm with all the wild shit he doing on the weekends. And it's just like, but the way y'all like to disguise it as if, oh, you a hater or you're not America first or you don't have, you're not backing your own or whatever, however they want to make it seem like. It's just like, bro, I don't have to ride for my quarterback when he does necessarily things that are putting the detriment of the team and could cost us everything we have when he's partying out on weekends or drunk driving or getting in trouble. Like these are selfish acts. And it's like, how dare the people of America have integrity and not want racism and bigotry and all the other things, list of things that we could be working on here as America to bring peace. If it may not exist anywhere else, at least it exists in America because there's no excuse.
Yeah.
But that's not at the forefront. It's always a bag. Somebody always bag chasing. Somebody always wants some more power. Somebody in a fucking cheap ass suit want to tell me how I should be living and who I should vote for. And it's like, yeah, we'd be cool with that if y'all had our best interest in mind. But when y'all do selfish, demonic behaviors like this, y'all package it in religion and tell us to swallow it. Y'all don't tell us the truth about what it is. You claim this is what happened. And when we do more research, it's not what happened. You pick and choose how you're going to post it on social or how you put it on TV. And then we find out who owns what and why they own it and how they're able to drive the narrative. It's just like, bro, this is messy, bro. Clean this shit the fuck up. Like, what we doing? This shit sound equally as corrupt as Venezuela. And the issue is just because it looks nice and shiny, y'all just don't think it has a problem. Just because you don't see we walk around here and we see tall buildings and nice like military. It's just like y'all be thinking like America love to do that, flex on all the shit is good on, and then just like hide all the things we've done bad. Like, you know what I mean? People are coming over, like just put it in the closet. And that's the energy America keep moving on. It's just like, damn, some of the kids got the younger generation not really going for that. Like, we're pulling skeletons out the closet. We're addressing it. We're calling it out. We have platforms that are able to do it. This is why I love social media so much. And I feel like we get into such these big arguments about social media is the devil. But it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Do you remember what this shit looked like in the 60s? Your ass didn't have a fleeing chance to know what the fuck was going on in Venezuela unless they told you. You didn't have a fighting chance to know what was going on in Palestine unless they told you. Social media is the best thing to happen because it's direct to consumer now. You can't put your spin on it. You can't gas it up. Some of the vegan movement doesn't happen without social media. What the health doesn't happen. Some of these corporate companies forcing to remove red and blues and dyes, and this doesn't happen without social media being the communication platform that forces big pharma, corporate, one post, one tweet, one TikTok away from their entire company being exposed and forced to make overnight decisions. Corporate America was pimping the boomers. Straight up had them in the streets, butt ass naked, and taking everything from them when they got back off the curb. Social media now don't allow that. You're not gonna pimp us. You see what happened during COVID? Cats went into offices and yeah, I'm not really with that office shit no more. I'm not really doing all that. Like, oh, whoa, we're not gonna pay you this salary. Yeah, I'm not really tripping off the salary. Look, I'm gonna just go get another job, but good luck with everything y'all got. I'm gonna go work at this company in LA, but I'm gonna stay locked in Miami. What? It decentralized everything, bro. It's like Bitcoin. It's like the blockchain. Social media just made the shit even. What corporate companies gonna do now when we speak up like this? When you got platforms that are forced to do it, they can control it all they want. But what we gonna do? We gonna find another Patreon or another place to have that conversation, bro. We're not getting played like the boomer generations. That 60s, 70s pimping that they have. Y'all on the curb, y'all going to schools and listen to what y'all were told and shut up and don't ask no questions and go get the job and go use that FHA and lock yourself into a 30-year commitment in order to pay this while the banks is sending out your money and making a little benefit, and you call it quote unquote the American dream, and you claim you're gonna pass it down to your kids, and now you see your kids don't even want the shit that you used to dream about. They want freedom, they want happiness, they want peace. They don't even align with the same things that you wanted when you were coming up in your generation. And you yelling at me about social media? Like, if we didn't have that, bro, we'd be doing the same shit a lot of people who are unhappy at these big grown ages are. That's what we'd be doing. We wouldn't have this, bro. This wouldn't exist. We'd be running in and out of our job, unhappy as fuck, losing our best years, voices shut. Man, look, we grew up in social media. We telling y'all it's the best thing that ever happened to us.
It is. You look at a lot of these recent situations. I mean, could you imagine? Like, look at why we were so ignorant when it came to 9/11. Like, certain stuff that came out, they found the passport. Everything else burned up except the passport. It happened to be laying nice and just fine there for somebody to find it, of one of the pilots. Like, little stuff that just completely made no sense. Even stuff with the dancing Israelis, all these different stories that came up. It was before we had social media. We couldn't see a lot of this stuff. You look at what happened in 2020. If we didn't have social media, like, you think everybody would have really had the energy to go against maybe some of these corporations and say, like, yeah, I'm not taking that? Hell no. You think we would have had RFK Jr. pushing some of the stuff that he's pushing from a health standpoint that you mentioned, Clay? It's a look. And this is the reason it's never going to be a level playing field. But what social media does is it gives us all the ability to put out information. Now, what the big corporations and what we've heard Netanyahu say that he's going to do is what a lot of the big money people do. They're just putting more money. They're going to put more money into the ads. They're going to pay people $7,000, for a post. They're going to put money into people in order to make sure that they are able to use their leverage to push their narrative. Now, at least we have the ability now to actually give a voice to a lot of this stuff, because before that we didn't. So I'm with you, Clay.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Let's take a look at this video, because Marco Rubio, the new president of Venezuela, he's been getting some interviews. So I have this clip as well as another one. I haven't seen either of them. So,
well, hold on. This is the new president?
No, I'm joking. So
okay.
Saying that, yeah,
you blew my mind. I was like, hold on. I thought it was the lady. I'm at the wrong airport.
It's definitely not the lady. Yeah, definitely wrong airport. But when Trump was up there, he actually kept passing it off to Rubio, and he said, like, yo, the people behind me, those are the people that are going to run it with a team. He kept saying team, and it's like, well, what team? It's going to be Rubio and Pete Hegseth, which is going to be, I think I would lean towards Rubio having the majority of control there, and he'll be, working with Pete Hegseth, telling Pete Hegseth from a military standpoint what's needed.
Yeah, and this is the guy that was standing next to Trump during his address.
Yep. This is our Secretary of State. So let's take a look at this.
This morning, President Trump was pretty clear yesterday. He said the United States is going to run Venezuela. Under what legal authority?
Well, first of all, what's going to happen here is that we have a quarantine on their oil. That means their economy will not be able to move forward until the conditions that are in the national interest of the United States and the interest of the Venezuelan people are met. And that's what we intend to do. So that leverage remains, that leverage is ongoing, and we expect that it's going to lead to results here. We're hopeful that it does, positive results for the people of Venezuela, but ultimately, most importantly for us, in the national interest of the United States. We will no longer have, hopefully, as we move forward here, we'll set the conditions so that we no longer have in our hemisphere a Venezuela that's the crossroads for many of our adversaries around the world, including Iran and Hezbollah, is no longer sending us drugs.
Hold on. This is how you could tell when people are rambling, they're not making any points, or they're intentionally trying to move the conversation away from what the actual question was. He's rambling about all this stuff. It's going to be good for business, good for this. Yo, that's not what the question was. Is it okay? Back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, what's the legal authority that we have to take over Venezuela?
Yeah, simple as that.
Yeah, like let's go back and hear this again. Yeah. He's not that smooth with it either.
This morning, President Trump was pretty clear yesterday. He said the United States is going to run Venezuela. Under what legal authority?
Well, first of all, what's going to happen here is that we have a quarantine on their oil. That means their economy will not be able to move forward until the conditions that are in the national interest of the United States and the interest of the Venezuelan people are met. And that's what we intend to do. So that leverage remains, that leverage is ongoing, and we expect that it's going to lead to results here. We're hopeful that it does, positive results for the people of Venezuela, but ultimately, most importantly for us, in the national interest of the United States. We will no longer have, hopefully, as we move forward here, we'll set the conditions so that we no longer have in our hemisphere a Venezuela that's the crossroads for many of our adversaries around the world, including Iran and Hezbollah, is no longer sending us drug gangs, is no longer sending us drug boats, is no longer a narco-trafficking paradise for all those drugs coming out of Colombia to going through the Caribbean and towards the United States. And obviously, we want a better future for the people of Venezuela. We want them to have an oil industry where the wealth goes to the people, not to a handful of corrupt individuals and stolen by, pirates all over the world. That's what we're working.
Is he talking about America or Venezuela? The wealth goes to the people. Who are y'all fooling? Like, who are y'all talking to? It's almost like you sitting there, somebody's lying in your face, telling you some BS. Like, yo, who are you talking to? You're disrespecting me by telling me all this BS. Like, listen to what he's saying.
And towards the United States. And obviously, we want a better future for the people of Venezuela. We want them to have an oil industry where the wealth goes to the people, not to a handful of corrupt individuals and stolen by, pirates all over the world. That's what we're working towards, and we intend to use the leverage we have to help achieve that.
Imagine illegally kidnapping the president of another country and justifying it by saying there's pirates that have been stealing. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like the pirates have been stealing what? Venezuela's oil? Like Venezuela's like, what are we even talking about?
And then just jumping in.
Yeah, like you're stealing, you just kidnapped their president to completely take over their country. You just stole their country. and you're referring to other people as pirates. We just captured, bro. In case people are not aware of what just happened, we just stole Venezuela. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, this is colonizing.
Yeah, like we just stole Venezuela. Like, yeah, we run it here. Like this is my block now. This is my y'all used to sell drugs on this strip. This is my block now.
Yeah, we just so we see how this is modern day colonizing. This is the new bag. This is the new bag.
Let me ask you this, because I think this transitions into what you were talking about, like the psychology behind it. What type of culture do you think and mindset that this creates among Americans? Is this the straw that broke the camel's back? Is this the thing that's finally going to get Americans to wake up and be turned off by a lot of colonizing activities that America and European nations do? Or is this something that people will just adapt out of, I don't know, whether people want to call it survival mode or personal interest? But how do you think America is going to respond to this? Like, what is going to be the impact on the psyche of Americans based on this situation, seeing that it's okay to steal somebody else's shit? Like right in front of us. Like we know what happened in the past. We know what has happened low key, maybe in other instances. This is right in front of all of us. We stole their shit, bro. What's going to happen to young kids that are growing up now, like watching this, being taught it in school, asking parents questions? Like, how do parents explain this? If your kid starts asking you like, oh, what happened with Venezuela? Like, how do you explain this? And what does that do to your kid? Now, do you also have to start explaining all the other stuff? Because it's going to send you down a rabbit hole, because it's not like this is the first instance that this has happened. How do you explain this to your kids, Glad?
I mean, it definitely puts a magnifying glass on what parenting looks like. It definitely shapes what parenting looks like. It's like the mom who makes the excuse for the dad that's putting hands on the mother.
They're not even
in those type of situations where something's going on, but mom's just kind of covering up because she wants to keep the peace in the home. And that's what the American people are becoming. That they're becoming the woman who has two responsibilities: deal with the issues at hand, but also be responsible for shielding and protecting the kids.
You had your coffee this morning, Glad. You had your coffee this morning, Glad.
Yeah.
Yo, run that back. So you're relating.
Yeah, this to kind of like a situation where you hear of a parent, one of the parents is basically shielding or protecting the children from what they feel like can cause them to start creating their own agenda or their own perspective, et cetera, et cetera. And this is the toxic behavior that you'll see in these dynamics when you see a woman protecting her relationship with her husband or with her boyfriend and not speaking of certain things with the intent to, well, I didn't want the kids to know about it, or I was hiding the bruises, or I didn't want it to be honest. I didn't want them to know. I didn't want you to think that your father's a monster. So I just chose to not tell you at all. And so now that's becoming the responsibility of us as Americans. Just to preface, like I'm not, this is just a metaphor, but it's just like the American people are becoming responsible for protecting their own selves from what America's doing to them, quote unquote, what the father may be doing to them, but also responsible to make sure to, quote unquote, try to protect the children. And so it becomes a difficult job, because who's right and who's wrong? Is the truth right in that situation? Or is fighting against what's causing the conflict right at this situation? Is finding a balance right in this situation? And this is what kind of forces a lot of, like you say, when certain groups and cultures don't address the past and how we got here, it leaves it up for grabs for whatever we want to fill in the blank with. And so now it just makes it that much more difficult when politicians don't understand that we are creating we're creating the bigotry. We're creating the perspectives of who is okay to do what. And why, like you said, why we believed at some point growing up that the people that were throwing rocks and, fully covered were the enemies, but the people in the military outfits were the saviors. We're building this, and we're constantly having the need to update what our response is going to be or not address it at all. And as we see in parenting, that ain't never worked. You not addressing certain shit, I'm gonna come back. May not come back today, but I'm gonna be back for that answer. And if I don't get it, then I'm it's okay for me to kind of think whatever I want. You know what I mean? When you have these situations where and we see this with the movement of like the Nick Fuentes movement. It's like we're not gonna speak, we're not gonna address, we're not gonna try to get this out on the table, we're gonna hide it, we're gonna just disguise it, we're gonna say it never existed, and then you're forcing the American parents, the children, or you're forcing the Americans to basically come up with a response that they truly have no idea what the fuck it is, and some of them think you're telling the truth. And so now we have mixed signals. So now, you got one half of them saying America's great for this. You got one half of them saying America first, MAGA. You got the other half said this is demonic, this is ridiculous. You got the other half saying praise the Lord. It defines culture. It defines parenting. All this stuff dives straight into your home and how you digest content based on where you're at, whether it be your race, whether it be your gender, whether it be your socioeconomically, will determine what side you choose to discuss and what side you don't. Because there's a certain group of people that don't speak about race. There's a certain group of people that don't speak about politics.
Yeah.
There's a certain group of people that don't believe in voting. There's a certain group. We create the pockets by not having this discussion. And then this is what makes it so difficult sometimes when we are so prepared to sit on the table and have discussions about anything. We ready to talk about religion, politics, whatever it is, we ready to talk about. But it leads us to a place where not everybody was forfeited that opportunity to be allowed to talk about it. And so I'll let you kind of go answer on that, but it leads us right into a conversation that we're going to dive in, me and Dak, with just about a little bit about classes and classism and things of that nature, of how, depending where you're at on the spectrum, if your parents were an average day-to-day American working person, or your parents were immigrants, or you come from more of an elite background where your parents are very successful, in how these classes ultimately are able to gatekeep, how the strong, rich, and elite are able to gatekeep so much of this stuff from their children, and they keep transferring more than just money and wealth and monetary and financial things. They pass different things, as we see a lot in the Jewish community. They're able to gatekeep and pass along almost like a toolkit for survival for the next generation. And what we're starting to realize is maybe not all classes have the same opportunity, or they're not realizing it, how they can provide a toolkit for the next generation, and why they believe or don't believe that, subconsciously or consciously, to begin with.
Yeah. And just to touch on a bunch of the stuff that you said, we start getting into the mindset around it. I know you mentioned Nick Fuentes. I know Fenton was saying with Nick. And, I remember Nick saying he goes back and forth on a lot of this stuff, but he was saying that he'd be open to some regime change in Venezuela, or us extracting resources and extorting them because it's good for America. And that is the mindset of a lot of these quote unquote America first, MAGA people or whoever. And to be totally honest, I don't even think that's just the mindset of MAGA or America first or all that stuff. I think that's the mindset of Americans. there's some Americans that will stand up for Palestine and, you know, say certain things. But in all actuality, the majority of those people are just doing that to be more so standing against Trump rather than to be standing on principles. Because if they actually were standing on the principles, then they would have put more pressure on, let's say, Biden and Harris when they were in office, but they never asked for a ceasefire. So a lot of these are just political conversations of people standing on their moral high ground, acting as if, oh, this is an opportunity for me to criticize Trump and his administration and label them a certain way. That's what the majority of it is. Because if there was truly one side that was not representing this, then our country would look a different way. But this is what America is. This is what America has been as a whole. America overall is a colonizer. We take advantage of everybody who we can. We drain them of their resources. We extort them. And we look at it as Nick Fuentes said it. It's not your gold if you can't protect it. You got gold under your feet. It ain't your gold unless you can protect it. That's the mindset of the bully. And it's real easy for us to embrace that mindset when you have every single advantage. But when you're not the dominant force, that bullying is a bit different. Like, so it's easy for Americans to stand on that now. We'll see if things ever change, if America still has the same energy. Because when you're the weaker person, then you're like, hey, we got to have this fair. This isn't fair. This isn't just. This isn't righteous. Meanwhile, the people in power, they're just going to lean into the power. Everybody leans into their leverage, especially when you can convince yourself or convince your followers that everything is about survival. We're living in survival mode. That's when everybody reverts back to tribalism. So it's always us versus them. All of these principles, morals, bro, that stuff is all out the window. It's almost like the conversation around censorship. Like everybody's, oh yeah, I believe in free speech until somebody says something about Israel that I don't like. I believe in free speech until somebody says a gay slur that I don't like. You know what I'm saying? All of this stuff is just, it's just convenient. Like when it's convenient for you, you'll stand on that side, but that doesn't mean that you actually agree with the principle of it in whole. You just agree when it suits your purpose. Yeah. So that's what a lot of this stuff is. That's what a lot of our voting is based on. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's no principles, there's no morals, there's no stances. We believe in people. We are fanatics of people. We are fanatics of political parties. And when we are fanatics of political parties, we can always be shifted. We'll always be shifted by what makes the most sense for our people at that particular time, rather than what's just, what's righteous, what's fair, what's principled, what's decent. That's how I see it.
And it's just so sad because they just don't take the, like, human life is just, it's just so expendable through all of this.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, bro. No, it doesn't matter, bro. Human life has always been this. Mm-hmm. Human life has always been this. Like, look at what we're seeing happening right now. We're justifying what, hundreds of thousands of people potentially being killed in Palestine after you just made 1 million of them move off of their land, give up their property for nothing in return, didn't get paid for it, but illegal actions, weren't allowed to come back home. Now we're complicit in killing 100,000 people because 1,000 people were killed, or you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And like, then wrap it up in religion and the Bible, and it just like, golly, like, God, we got to wake up and stop standing on the. But like you said, people, they tap in when it's fucking with them. When it's when the boogeyman at their doorstep, that's when they start picking sides. You know, that's when, oh, I stand with Israel. Bro, this ain't a discussion about, like, you ain't got to pick a side, man. You can just choose right or wrong, good versus evil. You don't have to stand with Israel in all the demonic things they may choose to do. They might do, look, they may do some shit you don't fuck with. Is that okay? Do you stand with the good and the bad? You riding, you spinning? Well, head on over there then. Let me see what you got. Go pop shit. Go show me you ready to go lay it all down for them. Stop. Get off the internet. The internet if the internet started charging people for the shit they say, then a lot of this dumb shit would stop happening because it wouldn't be free to just say you stand with that. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, oh, I stand with Israel. Bro, okay, let me show you a couple videos and let's see your energy at.
See what that means. Like, people
let me see,
bro. People are just cowards, bro. We got to look at this it's very simple. People are cowards, bro. The world is run by the courageous, audacious few. Because the majority of people are cowards, bro. The majority of people don't want to stand for anything, don't want to risk anything, don't want to sacrifice anything. That's why we got the obesity issues that we have. That's why we got the health issues that we have across the board. That's why we have the laziness issues that we have across the board. Every single aspect of our life, when you look at America and when you look at people who live in quote unquote privilege, there is no sacrifice. There's none, like nobody, it's interesting times, bro. Interesting times. Like Finn said, we're all just sheep. We're all just sheep that don't want to sacrifice our comfort. I like what Finn said. We all are just sheep that don't want to sacrifice our comfort. Who's willing to get uncomfortable? Come on now. We're going to, look, man. This is discouraging, but it's reality. And every now and then, perhaps we need these reminders of exactly who we are. I'm an American, so this bothers me. You get what I'm saying? Like, this bothers me. Like, I don't feel comfortable with this. This doesn't feel good. I'm not one of these people that if I'm going to live in a country and complain about that country my entire life, I'll just move. So therefore, now that I'm living in America and I'm saying that I'm American, I want to be as proud of where I live as possible. And situations like this significantly impact my outlook on that. This is uncomfortable. I woke up when you told me that, I just felt terrible. I felt, damn, we bombed somebody. Like, yo, this is, damn.
We just getting over. We just finally had a little, the dust finally settled, the smoke finally out the air for a second, and here we go. And we saw it coming. And think how quick we moved on America moved on this from when we were having that discussion about the double taps in Venezuela about the boats. What was that, a month?
Yeah.
These motherfuckers did all this shit in 30 days. Don't tell me America doesn't know how to fix what they want to fix. They can make something shake and change the rules overnight. Now we're talking about whether or not it was legal or versus it was not legal. Bro, all that shit, like you said, it's all out the window, bro. When America wants to make change, they'll make it. So when you assume that they want to stop crime, when you assume that they want to make sure that you have a solid work-life balance, when you have 401k, when the interest rates aren't high, bro, America will solve a problem like yesterday as soon as they think it is one. And this is where we were talking about last week about just like, hey man, everybody who complained don't necessarily want you to solve the problem, nor are they willing to help solve the problem. It's sheep, it's comfort, it's all of these things. And I want to dive into a perfect time. I want to segue into kind of a little bit of research that I was doing from the from the social aspect of this, and how we get to the place where we speak about what it is and how America seems to produce so many sheep, how America is able to produce so many people that are comfortable and not willing to make sacrifice, or like we've said, not being audacious enough to want to make a sacrifice or do anything. And I think that you could possibly look down that this is a system that maybe not that was intent for at the beginning, but it's definitely something that is producing Americans. It's producing the way that America can benefit from Americans. And so I'll kind of dive deep a little bit about it, but I'd love everybody who's in the chat as well as Dak for y'all to kind of tell me a little bit about this. But it was the explanation of classes and how this is where, in my opinion, the true disconnect of where humanity lies. And so it was a topic where they were speaking about cultural omnivorism. It's a concept that emerged in the 90s, and it was a social studier by the name of Pierre Bourdieu. And he was diving into just understanding the difference between the elites and how and why they gatekeep. And then so they share the same objects. So for good example, you'll use something like let's just say like the rich and elite, right? The elite pass down wealth, they pass down education, they value all these things, et cetera, et cetera. And so I'm going to give an example of how the classes can kind of shape our mindsets as children and kind of start classifying you and separating you of where you decide to go when it comes to religion, where you decide to go when it comes to education, how you communicate to people that have difference of opinions, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's very, very fascinating because I think a lot of it does and can tie into people's perspectives that they're not even sure about. So here, I'll be quick and brief. So my bad, hold on. So same things, like you may share the same objects such as wine or education, but your overall relationship is different. So in that example, they were saying like there's some people that grow up with wine regularly. They visit vineyards and wine. Their parents, as their kids growing up, their parents drank fine wine, and it's just something that the elites kind of do. Their kids grow up seeing. They don't really see sunny delight. They don't really see high seas. They see organic. They see healthy food. They see food from markets. They don't really order Domino's pizzas. They order Anticos or these Prince Streets or these Neapolitan slices, and they're paired with wines, et cetera, et cetera. And so what it says is that it starts shaping the child's perspective on how they'll be able to contribute into society as they grow older. So it made me dive deeper into something called scholastic dispositions, which is when I called you this weekend. I was so fascinated by how this, I think, can have a huge influence on people. And so how the elite inherits much more than just money, how questions are answered, and how intellectual curiosity is modeled. The toolkit that you get from growing up in these environments with both parents. This will have a huge impact on your experiences with school, given that they indirectly separate based on this. As children grow, things like knowledge and authority shape a child's relationship with school early on. So let's go into an example. Two kids, same block. One asks its mom, "Why must we eat vegetables?" Rather than responding, "Because I said so," which I feel like a lot of people, especially immigrants or Americans, middle class, etc., typically what you'll see is just say, "Because I said so, hurry up," right? And so why must we eat vegetables? Rather than responding, "Because I said so," she asked the little one, "Well, what do you think vegetables do for your body?" It becomes 15 minutes spent on the topic. But the key takeaway to Emma, which is the child, Emma realizes her questions matter. And older individuals are here alongside her to help her through her curiosity. So curiosity is modeled, but let's compare it to somebody next door, right? Next door is Marcus. Marcus asks, "Why is the sky blue?" His father, who has had a long, busy day at work, responds, "Because it just is, buddy. Now finish up your food." So Marcus learns that some questions don't have answers, or at least not ones he's entitled to know at that point in time. So when he makes errors as he's growing, they are fixed but never explored. As you see, two families that love their children but provide two radically different relationships when it comes to learning itself. Now, both go to kindergarten class together in the same class, but Emma looks at teachers as thinking partners and asks many questions. Marcus doesn't raise his hand and only answers when he's called on. He doesn't feel entitled to speculate. As we fast forward, the teachers naturally starts creating biases on what students are engaging and articulate, but some students are disinterested in or shy. The sorting has begun at 4 years old, in early age in kindergarten, but as they grow, the gap widens. Emma gets more attention. Marcus gets less. Marcus gets less. Gifted programs versus reading intervention. Now we're in high school. Emma applies to 12 different colleges, gets into 7, including Yale, and William and Marion Brown. I just kind of made that in there. Yale, William and Marion Brown, to name a few. Marcus' future is much more practical. Working, maybe military, a few community colleges, courses, etc. Both are happy with their outcomes because it feels like it reflects natural abilities, but don't even realize how far back it goes to just dinner tables at age 4. Emma goes off and has a very successful career and cycles the same scholastic disposition to her own that she grew up in. The cycle continues for Marcus also, gets a working class job, and now he also cycles to his children, but lacks the toolkit that Emma had. This is important for parents to realize that this is a fundamental problem in education in our entire society. It's not that people are necessarily smart or dumb at times. It's that some individuals' environment promotes confidence in asking questions, in home life, and align with school cultures. Bordeaux is exposing the lie of your outcomes reflect your abilities, that we live in a fair system. Bordeaux believes it includes ability, family, cultural capital, economic cushion, your network, and so much more. We'll dive into social reproduction tomorrow, but I wanted to talk about that with you, Glay, and kind of see what you in the chat thought about when we say so frequently, like, oh, people are just sheep, but I'm noticing that, well, let's analyze who are the sheep and what their upbringing looked like, what their environment looks like, what they have access to. Are their parents, do they prioritize work or do they prioritize education? And I think that shapes how we, who are now in these platforms of even speaking and talking about the certain things that we do. But I even think about, like, what really drives me to even want to dig this much more is because I'm able to use the case study and I use you. And so I question myself, I'm like, why and how is Dak wanting or feeling the urge to want to solve a problem because others are impacted by it? And why do others not feel the need to solve a problem because they're not impacted by it? And so when you dive into like the social aspect of it, starts opening the concept of, well, Dak may come from a 2-parent household where education was very important. And so rather than your parents telling you, go upstairs or do this, or your dad telling you, go upstairs and do this, and I'm not even sure if how the dynamics was, but I know education was very important to your parents. And to some degree, I know communication was very important to your parents. So I can see them possibly even being in a space where, you know what, I want to talk with Dak as an equal, even to this day. Even when we have gotten in the car, we have all argued and have different points. But I think there's something to say that we're comfortable arguing, but still understanding this is still home. This is still family. These conversations are okay in this space. So then it's very natural for us to want to have these conversations in other spaces, but we see it's not necessarily receptive. Religion, it's not receptive, et cetera, et cetera. So it seems like based on where people's background is and what they were allowed to do and how do they have the audacity, do they have the confidence to be willing to have a discussion about something with somebody who doesn't agree with them and not get so emotional and frustrated? And that can be carved by the parents from kindergarten to be able to get there.
Yeah. Well, just from my experience, I don't know exactly what it is, and I think it's a totally different upbringing. Like, you can have both parents, but I think my brother and I had 2 completely different upbringings, with me being the younger child. It's a lot difficult. In my opinion, it's a lot harder for the first child just to go through life, to go through school, like different things, understanding the dynamics. You got to make friends, but you're the only child for a certain point. You know what I mean? You grow up in that way. Just as you're talking about it, like, I'm thinking about, why? And perhaps, specifically with my dad, him being the youngest, where he had a lot of older brothers and sisters. He had 8 other older brothers and sisters. And perhaps there's something in the youngest where you realize that if things don't shift with me, then it does move on to the next generation. And I've always seen my dad as that type of person in the family, where he's going to be the one that says what you may not necessarily want to hear, but what you need to hear. Or he's just going to be honest with you, no matter how you take it, that's kind of like how it has to be delivered, because there's a certain level of respect there. You have to tell somebody the truth, and especially if you care about them. So this has always been my approach. And it's funny now, and my dad and I will go back and forth about something. And I don't know if it's the youngest child thing. I don't know if it's, from a young age, I always ask why. I needed things to make sense for me. You know what I mean? It wasn't enough just to say, oh, do this because of it. Like I was very respectful growing up, and I always wanted to do what my parents wanted me to do. Like I always wanted to follow the rules, because Justin was just different. Justin was going to challenge everything. It didn't matter whether it's like, he's going to challenge stuff. That's just who his personality was. And I believe from a very young age, my parents saw this. Maybe before Justin could even talk, to be totally honest. There's just something that I think parents can see in certain kids, or just, certain personalities come out. Mine, I was always scared of going against what my parents wanted me to do, but they also raised me to speak out for certain things. Like it was very apparent that my dad was more aligned or appreciated Malcolm, not to say he didn't appreciate Martin, but, if you were forcing someone one way or another, he was going to go to Malcolm route. That was kind of, me being born on his birthday. So a lot of these things, this is what you're talking about. It's in the environment, different things, the conversations that are around. I probably had more conversations around Malcolm X before I was 15 than a lot of people may have with Malcolm X their entire lives, simply because I was born on his birthday. You know what I mean? Like no, nothing in me. It's just I was born on his birthday, so that conversation came up a lot. But I do think that when you raise a kid to ask why, to search for answers, you can't be a lazy parent. You have to answer a lot of those questions. I was the kid coming home. Literally, you could ask my mother. I told her every single word that I said in school, in pre-K and kindergarten. Every single word. It used to be stressful. I remember the anxiety I used to have with not wanting to speak a lot, because I had to tell my parent, like I had to tell my mom everything as soon as I got home. So I think that there's a lot of the upbringing that goes into it. And, that just is what it is. That's your foundation. But then it gets to a point where in life, you realize, when you said all the time now, ignorance is no longer an excuse. It's like you understand very quickly, like in school, and you talk about the sandbox a lot. The dynamics are very clear, like in situations where even if you bring a bunch of men together, the dynamics will be clear, like, okay, who's going to be the alpha in this area, strong in this area, you know what I mean? Like you understand these things very quickly. Like this is like instinct. And I think that life, maybe in America or maybe just overall, it encourages, it always challenges you. So in a lot of ways, if you're a sheep, it's going to challenge you, and perhaps that'll push you more to being a sheep. And if you're not a sheep, you're going to be challenged to speak out perhaps against certain things that other people are standing on at a very early age. So what it does is it gives you an entirely different trajectory, where this person early on, they realize like, no, I can stand up for what's right just because it's right. And you know what? I didn't die. I didn't lose, you know what I mean? As a matter of fact, I felt better about myself. So therefore, I'm going to continue leaning in that direction, where you'll get a lot of other kids that lean towards being a sheep. They need somebody to follow. They need a Nick Fuentes to rally around. They need a Donald Trump to rally around. They need the Democratic Party to save them and be their new Messiah. They need Jesus to come and be their Messiah. I just didn't grow up like that, bro. So I don't see the world like that. So it's very hard for me to understand a language that I don't necessarily speak, but I can understand movement and behavior and dive into it as you're diving into it, Glay, by asking these questions of why certain people act the way that they act, why they react in a certain way to situations. If you put me in a corner, is it going to be fight or flight? I may want to run, but I'm going to feel like too much of a coward to run. So now it's like, now I got to address it. Now you're making me uncomfortable. And when people are uncomfortable who they truly are, or if they're trying to change who they truly are, they understand that this is when it's time to actually step up. when things get uncomfortable. So, you know, everybody doesn't have the same support system. Everybody doesn't have the same environment. Everybody doesn't have the same tools, skills. Everybody doesn't have the same athleticism. You look at even me being good at sports. It helped my confidence to maybe speak about other things in politics, to raise my hand in the classroom, because I knew every day at lunchtime I was getting picked first or I was the captain. You know what I mean? Like that type of stuff really plays a role. You know what I'm saying? So, so for me, that's another reason why my upbringing was different than Justin. Justin wasn't as good at, or he was talented at sports, maybe more talented than me, but he didn't like actually do it. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't interested in it.
Yeah.
Like me, that became my safe space in a lot of ways, because I knew that at the end of the day, no matter what kids you brought me around, no matter what cookout we pulled up at, you know, if they had a basketball court, I knew I was going to be able to fit in maybe ways Justin wasn't able to fit in. You know what I'm saying? I knew that I was going to have something that allowed me to be who I wanted to be in ways that other kids may not be able to tap into. So I think from that understanding, like there's a reason why a lot of times the popular kid, the kid who's the coolest kid in school, he goes on to run the company. He goes on to be, you know what I mean? There's a reason for all these things, because you see the world in a different way and you see yourself in a different way than everybody else compared to a lot of, where a lot of people may have to build themselves. And there's always a build up. You know what I mean? When you're getting ready to confront something, sometimes you got to build yourself up to stand on it. But it's a lot easier, I think, for kids who have been doing that the entire time that they've been living to build up to that and address it and confront certain things. It's easier compared to a lot of other kids who have never had that or have never seen their parents do that. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not just about authority or anything like that. One day maybe I'll have my parents get on here and share something. I wrote a letter to my grandparents one time. Like, and I never gave it. I wrote a letter as a little kid, like, yo, I don't like
what you was writing.
Huh?
Like, what was the letter?
It was about like different things in the family, like with my dad or something. Like as a kid, you see
like you was upset and you was like, I'm
upset. Like I'm standing with my dad. Like, you know what I mean? Like certain stuff like that. Like I wrote a letter like, yo, if you got an issue with my pops, you got, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even that serious, but it's like little family stuff.
Yes, but it's shaping.
Don't necessarily realize the impact of like certain things that kids are exposed to, where it could be a not even a big deal, not even a big situation, but a kid, we don't like conflict. It makes us uncomfortable. So we either ignore it, we run, you know what I mean? Like we address it in certain ways. Mine was like, nah, I'm writing a letter. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm letting them know.
Why? Because my dad always wrote letters to me. You know what I mean? Like he'd write us an email just to get his thoughts out. I'm like, Dad, you don't got to write a letter out. I'm right here. But that was how he got his, you know what I mean? I'm making sure that we address all these different, you know, so and I think that for him he's a very direct communicator. So it wasn't about him, oh, I'm just going to write a letter because, you know, it's like nothing was off the table as far as getting me to understand something and getting others to understand. If that person's going to receive this message in the best way by me writing a letter, that's what we'll do. You know what I mean? So there's, I think the dynamics that you grow up with definitely determine or help shape the trajectory of what type of person that you are going to be. Because even from this standpoint, like I feel very comfortable speaking on whatever it is that I want to speak on. Because at the end of the day, if I hit rock bottom, I will just go home. Like I will just go home.
Yeah,
we'll go to my parents. We'll go to her parents. Like it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like we're cool with that. Like I know exactly who I am. I understand the consequences that may come my way from speaking on a lot of this stuff, and it actually makes me feel alive. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, yes, I want to. Some people watch 300 or Gladiator and Troy, and they have different takeaways. Like I want to be that. So whatever that is in this society, that's what I want to be, bro. I want to be the guy. I want to be a hero, bro. I want to be all these different things because that's what, those are the difference makers, bro. Those are the people that stand on stuff when everybody else is scared. So that to me is just what being a man is. Like that's what being a man is. With all of these different characteristics and how they come into play. And perhaps this is shown I know Alex Jones talks about it a lot. We were talking about it yesterday. The water, they got all this estrogen in it, you know, that was turning all these frogs into female frogs. Perhaps that's just the energy that we have to confront things with what we're living in right now, because we just have an emasculated energy. Like, so all of this stuff, this is just naturally what a man is. This is what we should be brought up. You stand on what you stand on. These are the same things that make me stand up for the things that I'll say right now, or make me say certain things about Israel and calling that stuff out. And my parents, it'll make them nervous because they don't like me really speaking on this type of stuff. They know that that's how they raised me. It's like, you can tell me to chill out, but that's kind of how you raised me. So it is what it is.
I think that's a great way to kind of understand not only do we see here how like Dak has gotten to kind of where the confidence is and what makes him confident to speak about this stuff, but we see how important parenting and parents are to a child, because look how far it's evolved and developed in his relationships, and he applies it to education, he applies it to religion, he applies it to so many of these spaces. And when your dad doesn't speak to you necessarily like a child, but it's almost like your dad treats you like a little lawyer, and he has to convince you to understand what he's saying. And if you don't understand, then you're going to challenge it, and then he's got to challenge it back. But this is where you see your opinion as an equal. And so if you're not in an environment where your parents, it's a dictatorship, but it's not equality, right? You don't see fairness. When you see something wrong, you don't necessarily call it out, because maybe you don't go home to a space that warrants calling it out. Maybe that looks like snitching. Maybe that looks like, oh, you a goody two shoes, or you not really trying to hang with the cool kids at the table. But as we see, parents have such a conscious and unconscious, a subconscious and conscious way of training their children to grow and become these men that we want society full of. But we have to question, parents, are we creating an environment where our children feel as if they're equal contributors to society, or do we better enjoy our children following what we're saying as parents? And we shouldn't be surprised when they go to a school and somebody tells them what they do and they fall in line, or somebody goes to the church and they tell them what they do and they fall in line, or somebody in politics tells them what they do and they fall in line, and they don't push against what's right. They don't push against what's wrong. They just kind of follow what they're told to do. And as we see, when America kind of produces all these fallacies and all these smoking mirrors, like when we're hearing what we're told to do, it's important that we go do the research of why, because we're realizing we can't trust who the people that are telling us what to do at all times. And so you have to create this generation that's coming up next. I'm excited for, is because we understand what that looks like. We're at schools like William and Mary having small group public speaking classes and engaged with our professors, with our peers. And it's not standardized testing. It's not a job. We didn't go right into working at 18 years old and listening to a boss tell us X, Y, and Z. We were forfeited the opportunity, where definitely a blessing, where sports allowed me to get into that room that, to be honest, my background wouldn't have got me to that room per se. You know? And then when you say, when the sports, like you said, when you're good, yo, at 17, when you're good at anything, you that guy. I'm walking in the gym like, yo, what's good, fam? Yo, LSU was here for you. Oh shit, word? I bet. I got the J's. I got to dress a different way because I know eyes is on me, because UGA is pulling up and coach want to holler at me. I'm getting letters in my mailbox. I'm dating the bad one. Everybody at the locker. So I'm always on the scene. I got to always be known. I got to always be in my stride. Mom, I can't wear that today. Yo, cats it like I'm up. I got to You know what I'm saying? And that shapes my confidence. I'm in high school popping like, yo, BK, he about to go. Yo, Duke was here. Now it's like, oh yeah, smart nigga. Yeah, my confidence. I'm in my bag. Then you go to
he a well-rounded. He one of the well-rounded ones.
Yeah,
huh?
Don't hit me with just the football shit. No, I'm in the books with it. Oh, hey, Teach. Oh, you was the one hating on me? Oh, you was the one acting like I wasn't gonna be none. Yeah, Duke was here yesterday. Yeah, I'm about to go there. Oh, you getting awards. Oh, I'm in music. Oh, I'm playing the cello. Y'all get off me. All the haters. So now I learn how to deal with haters, not through physical force, not through arguments, through my results. Who you arguing with? I see why you hating. So we get access to these emotions early as hell. Early as hell, we already know. And like, yo, my shoes, they dirty. I can't wear those. But why do we that's important. That's the hierarchy. If you don't dress a certain way, if you don't show us up a certain way, if you don't have that vernacular, if you don't have that vocabulary, if you don't have that confidence, if you aren't able to elaborate, if you aren't able to talk at a high level. So we go to college, we bring the same swag. And the thing I loved about William Mary, and I could never be able to repay it back of the structure, is especially especially in the small community of, there's not a lot of Black people there, but it definitely showed us for somehow William & Mary was able to attract the very educated, disciplined kids that come from a background where things were very important. Similar backgrounds like you're speaking of, like although my parents I didn't have the same dynamic as yours as parents, but I hung around those parents. Like that's why I'm so cool with Dayron. Both of his parents were doctors. My mom was, regular worker. My dad, I never really saw him. He's always at work. So I've always been attracted to that elite. I always wanted to know, like, damn, I live in the hood, but like Dayron lives in a mansion. And then so I was always attracted to like, yo, like, look at his crib. And that allowed me to sit at tables and dinner tables with the family because, look, I'm not from here, but I'm about to figure out how this looks so much different than what my parents got on. That's what drew me to Dayron and his dynamics. And it's kind of like, think about it, it's the same thing with y'all. I am so in love with the dynamics. Your mom is a genius. Your dad's a genius. And it's like, oh, man, the conversation's lit over here. I'm sitting at this table. And so now it gets me into this room that typically I wouldn't get into, but college allowed that platform. And then I started taking on to the things that a lot of you guys from backgrounds with these dispositions scholastically, I was able to, all right, bet I got into William Mary. Look, I always say I don't belong to this school, but I'm gonna find a way to get out this motherfucker. And so it taught me quickly, like, B, you may not know how to do this, and you may not know, but you know how to network. You know how to talk to somebody. You know how to be friends with the people you need to be friends to. You know how to hustle. You know how to grind. I may not be the most talented, but ain't nobody going to stop me from getting out of here. And so that taught me so much more. And so you just begin to see, damn, no wonder BK's an entrepreneur. When I was 14, I was pushing a lawnmower around my neighbor, cutting people's yards, putting up signs, and started my own little business. But I also grew up around parents that cleaned houses when I was 12. So I saw my parents always hustling. So I was trained to hustle, but then I quickly realized, look, my parents hustling, but I'm not seeing the fruits. So I took the hustle, but then I went to the spaces where the mansions were big, the houses were good, and the conversations were deep. And I was like, oh, okay. And so it just goes to show parents, look, it's so important. We're talking about kindergarten is 4, bro. It is so important that if we want this next generation to understand and not be controlled by propaganda and all these things, that we have to start communicating with our children at a high level. We have to start understanding the importance of environment. We have to start understanding of, how to leave a toolkit. And this is, we'll dive into some more tomorrow, but this is why like we said, this is why we talk about the elite and how they produce constant success, constant understanding, when we talk about Marcus, just eat your food, go to sleep. But when we talk about Emma, well, do you know what broccoli means? Emma feels confident. Now she thinks I can ask questions. My mom doesn't tell me to hush. You are shaping the next generation based on how you treat them. And so I think this social aspect of it could possibly be a great way to dive into how we solve the humanity issue we may have. Once we can start to understand how socially we're separated, then we can create a plan that, to be honest, religion won't make a difference. Education may not necessarily make a difference. All these things may not make a difference because we're understanding how we think and why we think the way that we think. And we're seeing the products and we're seeing how those certain children become who they become and how to recreate that consistently so that the society as a whole can become a part of the elite. It may not be because of monetarily, but we can understand how do we properly pass down a toolkit for the next generation to understand how to communicate how Dak has. Have the confidence. If you're like BK, you don't come from that, well, this is how you get around that. Like, continue to drive our next group of children into being able to crack and change levels without necessarily struggling to get there.
Yeah, nah, 100%, man. I appreciate you bringing this conversation up because what was the term that you that we were discussing the other day? I forget what the term that you brought up.
Was it scholastic disposition?
Scholastic disposition. So I wanted to make sure that everybody's aware of the term that's the term that created a lot of this combo and this thought process, correct?
Yeah, exactly. Yup. Scholastic disposition, and just like in certain communities in the hood, like, the teachers are tired. They don't want to talk to the students. They don't want Dak asking all those questions. So what ends up happening? That kid learns that he can't ask questions, so he then looks at authority differently. So when he looks at authority differently, he doesn't necessarily always respect authority. He doesn't like authority because court authority hasn't been giving him the confidence that his curiosity has. So now he's bucking the system. He's in the streets. He's joining the gangs. He don't listen to his parents because he hasn't been necessarily forfeited a place to be able to keep up because we're telling them put his hand down. Totally different when you may be in a private school or you're at Yale or you're in Ivy League school. They don't even have midterms. Harvard don't even test for it, I think, sometimes. They just have conversations. They just talk about what they think in dissertations and stuff like that. So it's just like, bro, that shapes society. And so there's a reason there's a small group of Ivy Leaguers that go on to run companies that don't necessarily even have the similar and successful background as some of the employees. But why? Why does Mark Zuckerberg own Facebook? But look at that trajectory. Look at the movie, the social media. Look at the dynamics. Sandals, hoodie. We just talk about what we feel. He's got, like, you know what I mean? It changes it. When you're not at University of Georgia, it's 300 kids in the auditorium. You ain't asking no question. But when you're at William and Mary, it's 10 of us in here. Put your books down. Today we're going to discuss. Damn, I got to get my public speaking together. Damn, I got to know how to speak about what I may not know, or what we learned a lot of, Dak. I got to learn how to bullshit some shit. I got to learn how to go talk about some shit I don't know about, but make it sound good. So a lot of it shapes us. So it's so interesting how this definitely could, crack the code on why there may be disconnect in the religion, why there may be disconnect in the education, why there may be a disconnect in why is Dak able to say nothing's off the table, but then why is a group of other individuals say no? Why are they so loyal to that? Are they not used to having discussion? Are they not used to leaving their guard and their emotions at the door when discussing a topic that they feel about emotionally? Are they not used to speaking up for somebody else? This all is shaped by their upbringing, society, education, et cetera, et cetera.
This is why we're going to create our own school, for sure. Like, this is why we will build our own school, because I think it's the only way. And even when you look at the educational standpoint, I must just spend 30 seconds on this. In Montclair, like what was a great school system, now they tricked off, got into a whole bunch of debt, and now the state's getting ready to probably take over our education system, Board of Ed, which is like impacting everything, because that's one of the reasons why people move there. But and where was I going with this? Hold on. Oh yeah, with the achievement gap, this is with all this testing. Like, you realize how all this testing impacts the kids. Instead of having conversations, you're just testing to see where kids are. Yes. How is that going to close an achievement gap when all you're doing is you're giving? It's like if, okay, we bring in 10 kids, and these 10 kids, let's say 5 of them have been training with a track team. They've been training with a track team, right? And then the other 5, they haven't been running. Like, they don't even work out. If you give them all like the same type of training, or this probably isn't the best analogy, but if there's nothing in their mindset that shifts the way that they look at training, then the fast kids that have had the more exceptional training, they're always going to be ahead of the other kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of a bad analogy, but the testing doesn't do anything to change the way people think. Like, that's the only way that you're going to close any achievement gap, not by giving this kid an extra tutor, but you have to give them a reason why they want to learn. You have to make learning exciting for them. They have to see the world differently. The reason why they're not at this level that the other kids are perhaps at, or the reason why they're not at that level, is because a lot of these conversations aren't happening. They don't see themselves at that level. So there's just a lot that goes into it. And I'm not, even as it's coming out of my mouth, I feel like I'm not making the point that I actually want to make. But all this testing, we need more conversations. We need more why questions being asked as well as answered. We don't get a lot of that stuff. We need more experience-based teaching. When you have experience and you understand as a kid, it's almost one of those situations where I think the best cops, like if we had the best police officers, if we were able to just look at a group of people and say, hey, which one of these groups, like which people out of this entire group would be the best police officers? It would probably be the ones that don't want to be police officers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that situation, so to say, and I'm rambling, so I'm going to stop and wrap it up.
But kind of like the captain situation you always explain. It's like, you never really wanted to be captain.
Yeah.
You inadvertently but they nominated you. You didn't vote for you. The people voted for you to be the captain.
Yeah,
so
I definitely did not vote for myself. I voted for Rob Livingston.
Yeah. So it just goes to show, even Rob wasn't a heavy talker. Obviously, he spoke a little bit, but he only spoke once in a blue moon, but that wasn't really his bag either. Yeah. So it just goes to show you, like, yeah, sometimes the ones that don't want it are actually the best for it. And then sometimes the ones that do want it aren't. So you're not wrong in saying that perspective, because it makes sense. Because if you want something, let's say, and it's so hard, right? Because it's split. If you want something, then it would make sense that you would do the things that you need to qualify for that something. But when do we draw the line where you're willing to compromise moral and ethics to get that thing as a politician, right?
And I'm glad that as proud of I am as you saying that I didn't want that. I wanted to be captain. I wanted to be a leader, but I did not want to sell myself to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted y'all to look at me as a leader, but I didn't want to. I'm not going to do all this extra talking. I'm going to be the same person. If my behavior alone isn't worth nominating, then I don't need to be it. But I'm not going to be with all the extra shit. I'm not selling myself to anybody. Like, this is who I am, bro. Y'all know me by now. If y'all see that as something that makes sense, then cool. But I'm still, even when I'm captain, I'm be the same person. Don't expect me to be up here, hoo, rah, and like, that's not the energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew the role that I was in, bro. And I think when people just understand roles, bro, it just allows everybody else to fully lean into theirs. And you realize, like, yo, sometimes shit is just needed, bro. I can remember first game senior year, UVA. You remember we had 5 captains.
Yeah.
We had 5. It was Rob Varno, RJ, Train, Lissamore, and me.
Yeah.
And I was the only one that didn't redshirt. So I came in a year after them. I came in, y'all class. So there was a conversation before the game, and maybe this is just to toot my horn a little bit, I guess. I don't know, but this is one of those, I just understood how things work in this moment. And I didn't feed into like my childish desires. And I remember they said like, oh, only 4 people can go to midfield for the coin toss. Now here I am, I'm like, damn, like, yo, I'm a captain. Like UVA, this is my #1 school we playing against. This is where I wanted to go to school. Like this is it for me. Like there was no game was more important than that game to me. And I'm like, I remember I was like, yo, y'all go ahead. Y'all been here, 5 years. Y'all go out there. I'll hang back. And that was just like, that was the first thing where it's like, you knew what you should have done. You knew and it made me, and it became addicting, bro. That's actually became addicting. I didn't know how it was going to feel afterwards. I'm thinking about like, damn, I'm not going to be in the pictures or the video, at halftime. Yeah. You know what I mean? Before the coin toss, like I'm not going to be out there. Like I need that. Like I work, you know what I'm saying? But then it was like, nah, bro. And those small situations compound because you do something just once and you're like, you know what? Even if nobody noticed that, like it just felt good for me. You know what I'm saying? Like it felt good for me. Like, so all of those things, bro, it's always been important, the decisions that we make, when nobody's looking, when nobody's around, when nobody is paying attention to you, like what type of person you are. And that's something that even to this day, it probably, pisses Maya off sometimes where I just have to do and it's not me, it's my parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just my parents. It's like, yo, nah, you do what's right, whether it's in your best interest or not. Like, that's what you do and that's what you stand on. So, yeah, come on. Now we on the
we out of here. But yeah, I like these towards the end because it allows us to continue to show ourselves in different lights and people can kind of start to understand how and why we speak, but also it allows them to also know their thoughts and they can kind of see the different environments and situations and how it shapes people. And then they can start to maybe understand the root of why they believe something. Like all of that plays into it. So I think there's such a social aspect to this that politics typically doesn't address, religion doesn't address. Social aspect of it does address, but the good thing about the social, there is no right or wrong. There is no one shoe fits. There's no one size shoe fits all. It's just, damn. And when we get into the space of sociology, it also forces you to be okay with it for some reason puts everybody's guard down and everybody's open to understanding somebody else's view. Yeah. When you address the social aspect of stuff, it's like we don't have to define, religion, no religion, or politics, no politics. But the social aspect is for some reason where people actually bring their ideas and their experiences to the table and have a common ground because we do respect that we all come from different positions or different understandings and we're raised differently. And some person has a great relationship with their father and some don't have a father. And for some reason, when we get into the social space, it for some reason, people got their guard down. None of the comments are about like, we're forcing them to think about their experiences and we're forcing them to communicate, which is what we need here going into these topics, especially to balance so they understand, okay, this is what I think, but hold on. OG Network kind of forced me to question why I think this way.
Yeah. And bro, as you're talking, I think this is why like recognition is very important and compliments and just appreciation. It is important because when you do something that you're just supposed to do, it lands a bit different when the people that are impacted by it, perhaps in a positive way, when they thank you for it. When, like, still to this day, when I go to my parents' house and I may help them lift something, You know what I mean? Like, that's a proud moment where I get to help them lift this chair from the basement to upstairs. And then my pops come home and he's like, yo, how you move the chair up by yourself? Like, what you, yeah. Like, you know what I mean? That makes me feel good. And when I just leave the house and they're like, my mom's and dad, they always remind me, like, you know, you're a good son. That makes me feel good.
Oh man, that's the
you know
one.
what I'm saying? Like, that's
the
the type of stuff that you hear have you damn near in tears ready, because you like, yo, that's all. Like, I didn't do it for that, but like, to know that people appreciated it who you actually wanted to do it for, it does bring something out of you. So I think that with a lot of it, it's, you know, we go back to our animal instincts. Like, how does a dog learn? You give him a treat. You give her a treat. You know, you give a dog, you reward, you show a certain amount of appreciation for that dog following the rules and learning a new lesson. We're the same thing as human beings, bro. Like, so what happens is most of the time it's the opposite, where people get rewarded for doing the foul stuff. You know what I'm saying? You get incentivized to doing the foul stuff. That's why we put all of these principles, morals that we discuss. We put all that stuff to the side because there's a reward that comes with it. But what we don't understand is the reward that people feel when there's just an appreciation for somebody doing the right thing. It may not be the same award that somebody gets for doing something foul, but just an appreciation, like, hey, I know this wasn't easy for you to do. Or, hey, I know you had a lot of work to do today, so I appreciate, you know, you coming over here and helping us, you know, with the move. You know what I mean? Anything like that makes, selfishly, I got to be totally, it makes you feel good. And it makes you more excited to do it the next time. You know what I mean?
And it shows the importance of how important these people are to you, like parents. And I think if parents knew how important they were, they would do everything in their power and, like you say, and say nothing's off the table. Like, when you're a parent that truly cares about your child and your dynamics continuing and providing them value and leaving them behind a toolkit to be successful, for some reason, nothing's off the table there. Why do we pick and choose when everything's off the table? Why are we willing to put our guard down when we want our child to feel a particular way? Or why are we not? And start pushing back, start pushing back why that is. It's very, very important to see the parents are shaping this country. The parents are shaping society. You're shaping whether or not your child is okay standing on a coffee table or sits in the corner and doesn't speak to anybody. You are shaping that. So it's very, very important that you understand the depths of communication, the depths of how to encourage. And like you said, bro, my dad probably worked hard and hustled and thought that was the most important thing. All I ever need this nigga to say is, good job, man. I'm proud of you. I ain't need shit else. It's like you spend your whole life just chasing. You just want your dad to be like, man, bro, you great job, bro. That's it. But parents be thinking it's the politics, it's the religion. Bro, no, I don't give a fuck about none of that. You think the president's more important than my pops? Fuck no. I don't care what we doing. I don't care if we're living in the most chaotic under a bridge. Bro, if my parents say I'm good, then it's up. I love my parents. I don't love the politicians. I don't give a fuck what they do. I love what my parents do. And as long as they understand their responsibility and their impact, they will cherish it a lot more than they may have been cherishing it before. And I think us bringing this type of awareness to this is how important y'all are. Don't underestimate how important, how you have shaped this country. You know why you have certain people in political offices or doing what they do? Because maybe their dad never told them they're happy. Their dad never told them they're proud of me. So you know what? They sold out on their morals. They sold out on their ethics. They don't know how to speak up and go against what's wrong because nobody encouraged them or patted them on the back when they did do it. So they got caught up by the system. The system became the teacher. But the system's focus is getting money. The system is focusing on extorting. But when you have good men, good family dynamics and principles, why the fuck would I care about any of that shit? I may talk about politics and this, that, and the third, but it ain't never going to have more impact on Oh, my mom dropped something. Let me get that for her.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't never gonna be bigger than that. Ain't nothing you gonna show me on CNN gonna be bigger than that. Hey, Billy, can you come help me move that? Oh, I'm on my way. You can't beat that. So this is how important you are. You guys are the first point of contact. You're the first point of communication. You build our curiosity. You build our communication skills. You build our confidence. Understand, bro, America is your responsibility. And if it's broken, go fix it. It ain't going to be fixed by nobody else but y'all. The boomers, the parents, the old head, bro, y'all are too important. You gotta text your kids and tell them you love them. You gotta text your kids it's okay. You gotta text your kids, hey man, I got your back. Look, go chase your dreams. I may not have. I didn't grow up with a parent that told me to chase my dreams, but you know what? I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna make sure you chase yours. And look, if shit hits the fan, yo, we got an extra room. We got a couch. Come home.
Mm-hmm.
Come home. Go chase your dreams. Go stand on business, but come home if it don't work out. Bro, that's priceless. Ain't no politician gonna change that, bro. It's in the family dynamics. It's in the homes, bro. Hey, just go home, bro. Just go home. Just come home. We'll get it. Let's get a game plan. Look, I may not have the answer, but let's work together. Let's get through these resources.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of times, like we always talk about, hug your parents, make sure you show your parents some love. The kids, man, like you said, bro, regardless of religion, especially if you have kids that don't really lean into religion, as much, your parents are your gods, man. Mm-hmm. Like your parents are the first gods that you know. And for a lot of us, the most important gods that any of us will ever know moving forward. I will 100% look. I don't, no disrespect to anybody's religion, anybody's spiritual beliefs. No God that y'all bring my way will ever take precedent over my parents. I don't know. I'm not saying that that's right. I'm not saying to follow that. I'm telling you, everything that y'all say that y'all God does, I've seen my parents do in real time for me. And I've seen my parents rep it. So I think parents need to understand, like, a lot of these complaints are not just complaints, but it's a responsibility that you have. You're in a powerful position. You have to use that. You have an obligation, a duty to make sure that you're using that powerful position that you're in to do what's best for your kids. There's no way that we should be complaining about what politicians are doing for the country and this and that, when we don't even have parents that will do stuff for kids. Like you think politicians are supposed to care about the country when parents ain't caring about kids? You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's and it can be frustrating. There can be resentment there that's built up between the parents and the kids, especially from the children to the parents in a lot of these situations. And parents don't take it as anything other than an opportunity to figure out things from this point on, because obviously we can't go back in the past, but if anybody's checking you, if anybody's bringing up something that when you process it, when you think about it, you know that you could have been better and it can improve. What can we do from here on out to move us in a better place? That's it. So Venezuela.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Venezuela. Why did we do it? Just cause. Why do I have to do this, Mom? Because I said so. Why did we take over Venezuela? They said so. It's all of this stuff is, man, it's all just different power dynamics. And the powers that be, the more we put our principles, morals, and values to the side, the easier it becomes for them to develop this tribalism mindset in all of us and put all the other stuff to the side, all the other stuff that we're supposed to live by. So that's all I got for today, man.
Yeah, that
was a heavy one you threw on us, man. That's good, man. I appreciate that. These things are like therapy sessions.
Yeah. I
Shit,
think
I
it
had,
is.
to, I had to open up the eyes. I felt a tear coming down. I'm like, yo, open the eyes. Like, you've been here before. Open the eyes wide. Like,
yeah.
dude, man, but that's good, man. These are conversations that we need to have, bro. These are conversations because it gets to the root of the issues. Look, we're trying to unite and have decent human beings, bro. We're trying to unite on decency, on this path that we're setting on to bring people together, to find truth, but to just bring about some peace and harmony amongst the people, bro. We can't look at a lot of these situations that are occurring and say that like we've been moving in the right direction. We got to acknowledge it, figure out a way to right some of these wrongs, or at least not to continue making these wrongs. Yeah.
Make a true change.
Hi, Glay. Give us the
You got it?
we got the box breathing. Shout out to our big bro Steve. He introduced our box breathing technique to us. This is the most important part of the show. So if you didn't pay attention to anything else, please pay attention to this and do us a favor. Like. If you already hit the like button, do us a favor. Hit it again and hit it again. If it unlikes, then make sure you like it again. But no, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all. Let's get into this box breathing technique that's going to allow us to just be still, work on our meditation, manifesting our breath work, all those good things, and just set the right intentions for the day. So the box breathing is going to be a 4-second inhale in which we're intentionally focusing on inhaling positive energy, followed by a 4-second break. And then we're going to have a 4-second exhale, exhaling all the negative energy, and then a 4-second hold. We'll repeat that cycle 4 times, and then we'll wrap it up. So if you're in a safe place and feel comfortable, I recommend closing your eyes, but you do what you feel is best for you. And we'll begin with a 4-second inhale, inhaling positive energy now. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Release the negative. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Keep holding. We're getting ready to go through our last cycle, so be very intentional with this next inhale. Inhaling positive energy. Ready, go. Hold. Keep holding. We're getting ready to release the last bit of that negative energy and let it out. Hold. All right. Y'all know we come here to do, man. Elevate on purpose, both from an intentional standpoint, raising our standards to become the best leaders we can become, and leaning into challenging ourselves to become and grow into the people we need to grow into in order to accomplish these amazing goals that we set for ourselves. Strength and honor, onward and upward. Let's make sure that we're moving on the right trajectory as efficiently as possible as we're living in our purpose, striving for purposeful abundance. And in order to do so, we like to focus on what's in our bag, all the things that we're focusing on throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, that's ultimately going to add into what's going to be our impact on this world. Maybe that's a question that we should ask ourselves. What's the impact that we want to make on this world? And we can start from a very close-knit perspective on it. You know, what do I want to become for myself? You know, the impact that I want to make on myself, the impact that I want to make on my community, my family, my village, my tribe, the world. So we can extend out as far as we want, but of course, got to start within. So the things that are in my bag: peace, love, happiness, health, wealth, and everything we do, integrity, and of course, got to add the balance. And on that note, I'll leave it up to you, Glay. I don't know if you want to finish off with some words and share maybe some words that the people have been kind enough to share with us.
Yeah, let's see what they got in the chat for the kid. Let's see. We got Let your actions be governed by justice, your speech by truth, and your attitude by humility. The boy Marcus, strength and honor.
The big homie.
That's a good one, man. But yeah, I mean, I think I think for time purposes, but 2.5 hours, but it's a very, as long as we all understand, like, perspective is obviously going to impact a lot of our thinking, and understand that you're a byproduct to your environment and other things involved, your people, your surroundings, your family, your mom, your dad, your friends. And so sometimes it may feel as if it's a difficult journey to possibly see another person's perspective, but I do challenge us all to always remember that you are nothing more but a vessel, a communication. You are a reenactment of your experiences. You are the final product. You're the result of parenting, environment, everything mixed in. And so you are allowed to change. You are allowed to learn, and give yourself the grace to be incorrect and wrong. Don't hoard being right as the most important thing, especially amongst mankind, because based on where you're from, who you are, how tall you are, how fast you are, how good at sports you are, really can fully change your perspective on life. And so it's very important to understand why we have the opinions that we have, and that we should always allow ourselves the grace to be able to change that perspective and see somebody else's angle. And that's what these social platforms can be. They can be. If they're not for you, then I challenge you to make it that for you, because not everybody has a bad experience with these platforms and social media. I've had a great experience. Some of the most money I've ever made is because of social media. Some building brands because of social media, having a following because of social media, understanding, having a ear to the streets or an ear to the market of whether or not my product is good is because of social media. It's a great place, bro. It's the market, and it's just the way it's gonna be. We're not going back to none of that, nothing, it not existing. So we might as well get comfortable with it in the room. How you utilize it is the key. Once it was the internet was the devil, right? Now social media is the devil. There's always going to be a devil if there's a God. There's always going to be a devil if there's Jesus. So we got to make sure that we understand, man, these tools can either work for you or against you, and it's up to you to determine that. And so continue to keep diving in. Like I said, I was digging in on scholastic disposition. I'm going to continue to dive into more of the social aspect of our conversations and how they may tie into how and why people believe what they believe in. And then we got a great super chat.
Yeah, we missed this. Deep combo, man. We missed this, big bro. But man, shout out to you as always.
Yeah, shout out to Big Rob. First super chat of the year, but not the last. Robert says the big social media platforms are the mind control devices. I use super chats to see if YouTube will allow my comment. With regular chats, it gets deleted without notification, and the YouTube suppresses the channel. That's possible. I'm not sure, to be honest. I haven't experienced that, but that's perspective. This is what you've experienced.
They're definitely suppressing stuff, but it goes to the question, is anybody surprised? We just keep pushing how we're pushing. You know what I mean? Like, they suppress it. They're doing what the defense, when we play against another team, they're not going to let us score. You know what I'm saying? They trying to score on us. We're trying to prevent them from scoring. So that's all this is. We're competing. So we're going to keep figuring out a way to be one step ahead. Let the good guys be one step ahead.
Yeah. And I think, especially even with that topic, it's just like, look, man, I much rather know who's against me than to be wondering where the rock is coming from. If social media is the problem, then cool. The good thing is we identified where the issue can be at. Now, how do we address it? Constantly saying it's the problem ain't gonna solve it, but how we utilize our following, how we utilize, how we support our influences and the people that are willing to stand out, how we utilize and we take advantage of knowing where the enemy lays is the next step. So we've identified who may be the enemy. The next step is how do we utilize it in our benefit and build a strategy. That's the next. That's how the conversation moves from just constantly identifying it and moving on to saying, okay, well, this is why channels like this exist. I mean, it's 50,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that can only grow until it's 50 million subscribers. Then it's a movement. Then you can't stop it. But one subscriber, one like, one comment. We didn't say we were trying to solve the problem tomorrow. We said we're trying to solve the problem. And look, we may not be the beneficiaries of solving this problem. But if we can have 50,000 people that are subscribed and somebody gets inspired to continue to run that race for and pass that baton to, then we did our jobs here. That's all that's it. So, yeah.
I love it, Glenn. Man, so appreciate all y'all as always. And we'll see y'all tomorrow, 8 a.m. All right.